Name tag around and then move.
Do we?
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Yours has the same on both sides.
I know. I
already
don't.
checked.
Joe knows that I won't be movable after.
After you drink?
Lowell has a family motto, which I've translated into Swahili, which is Starehe. I mean, it's just stay where you are.
But this is where Joe will be sitting.
That's right.
For dessert.
I can still keep tabs on him over there.
And try not to spill too much on your seat because I have to sit there next.
I'll do my best.
So we stay put till dessert.
Yeah. Well, you can move if you like. But... Plenty of elderly
Happy
person.
birthday, Joe. Let me tell you about our wedding.
Okay.
Was any of you here at our wedding?
I wasn't.
That's the story. He just ruined the story.
No, I don't think I will.
No.
Tonight.
My parents visited Joe and Lowell in England many years ago. And they came back with glowing stories about the hospitality they were shown there and the beautiful children they had that just thoroughly delighted them. And the gardens.
And the compost heap. I think we need a poem, Becky.
Professor. If you care to repeat the story, that's fine, or otherwise I'll embellish it.
It's hard to embellish Joe's stories.
I mean, in my own defense, it's just, we have this boys' school, so all I could do is wait there. And fraternity house was just a social club, and they would have.
Joe, how is it you didn't get deselected from the piece?
Well, they came close to it, I'll tell you.
What'd you say?
They came close to it.
Did you?
I had a lot of psychiatric counseling.
So did I.
They decided to let it slide. Of course, they sent the dicks around to my old friends. Like Webb was approached by the FBI.
Secret Service.
Secret Service.
Before you went in,
right?
They came and interviewed me about him.
Yeah.
You told these stories?
No,
Tell them the truth.
no, I've never been truthful to the government.
You're not alone.
Oh, good.
So tell my favorite one about the chapel.
I don't know how this all started, and Joe can fill in the blanks on it. But he got himself in trouble towards the end of his senior year.
We've been in Nassau, but all 5 models of whiskey.
Yeah, and brought him back. And what do you do with 5 bottles?
Get rid of the 4 finalists.
You must right before, and we do comprehensives, and you sit for honors and all that kind of stuff. That's why. And I guess the dean of men who shares my name, Dean Webb, busted you or something, and said that if he found you out, he would expel you.
He
Right
saw me
before-
on campus.
Yeah, he was done.
So he looked around and waited.
So he tolerated that for a while, and he sent pledges out who would scout the area for him in advance, much like people on point in Vietnam. And finally, we had to go to chapel. We had to go to chapel. We had to get credits, or you wouldn't graduate without the requisite number of chapel credits. So he would go to chapel, but in taking his bottles from Nassau, set up a bar in the church and sold drinks to the rest of the people that were having it.
I'm trying to get rid of it.
Couldn't take it with it. And we find that to be one of the more remarkable stories.
I think the chapel was probably pretty boring, so you probably felt that you needed to liven things up.
Because the actual
What's that movie that I always think of when I think of theater, where they were cruising up and down the street?
American
Graffiti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that sort of? did
I
that
think of
speak to
Bethesda
you?
that way.
That was kind of a
Because it was Fresno.
It's kind of a
Where it was made,
very frisky
right?
version of Keokuk. We traveled a lot slower, and it was the root beer stand. We went around.
Driving
But I
combines
see
down the
you.
street. Our guys
Making dinner.
and then some people came up and kind of attacked us and threw a couple punches at Henry. We have to get out of here, Henry. It's not the place to be. So, and he realized by that time.
Were we in Midwood
Time for
Place
lunch?
at that time?
I think so. I
Yeah.
think might
I mean, that Midwood Place was right next to 18th Street.
yeah. Well, Midwood Place is where I was staying all night there. Joe was there, and I did the stupid thing of leaving. I was in the Coast Guard at the time, and all of my every bit of clothing I owned was in the back of my car because I was moving or something. And I came out of Lowell's apartment the next morning, and of course my car was entirely empty. You know, my uniforms,
neighborhood.
clothes, everything. You know.